Yeah. Hey everybody, Doolive here, and today we're here for a very different kind of video. I think I did something like this a few years ago where we talked about old and forgotten pony games. Some of them were cancelled, others are still in development, and today we're going to look over some of the newer editions of pony games where something has changed, where something is new. Some of them may have also gotten cancelled in the process, and we are going to look at them, and I have a list of about 11 of these, so this is going to be interesting. These are games from all sorts of areas, all sorts of genres, if you may call it. The first one is one we've played on this channel. This one was the Bonds of Friendship, the one with the cutesy little intro. And yeah, as it turns out, this is in a state of being cancelled. That's something I saw on this one. It says incomplete, but it is cancelled if you go down the rabbit hole. That is the internet. I think you ponies have seen this game on the channel, so let's just go over to the Game Jolt. And on the Game Jolt, you see this. There was basically a poll 2 years ago about the game, and I think not many ponies voted for the game back then. So as far as we can tell, this game is not being developed any further, and I'd say, considering things have gone pretty quiet for the last 2 years. And of course, ponies, if you know anything new about these games, do be very, very welcome to add something to the comments. It's always curious when a game like this just goes silent and it ends up sounding like the game is, just gone. Yeah, this is serving to. Yeah, this is. I think this is where this pony said that the game might get canceled, and I don't think we have heard anything more. I mean, the site is still up. You can download their demos and everything, but there's nothing more to it. So I would almost consider this may or may not already be part of the list of things that we're not going to see any more of, every pony, which is sad for a game like this. Anyway, next we're going over to something that I more so put in the incomplete section of things, and I think this takes us over to the platforming genre, every pony. So here we have another. This is the Minty Fresh Adventure, a game that I've also played on this channel, and it is part of the Pony Platforming project, which is this thing, every pony. This is a collection of a bunch of games that we have played, and it says that it is currently available as a demo on their website. We're going to take a look at this website in a little bit, but as of right now, it doesn't seem like there's much more development happening. There was an update on their website, so a couple years ago, so ponies know this exists, but I don't know if this is like just going to be the finished version or if there is going to be something new. We don't know. Let me jump over to their website, and there's this update which they just inserted because Flash was coming to an end, so they started to create downloadable versions. So I think, when did that happen? When did Flash support end? I think that was like 3 years ago. So ponies still know this is around, but I don't know if they're like just gonna add anything or consider this to be finished in a way. Either way, you can get all 5 of these games that I mentioned here. You can download them, play them, try them out. They're pretty silly, but as of right now, we don't know if more progress is gonna happen. But none of this, of course, reads like anything is getting canceled, so we don't know. And maybe we're gonna hear more about them. We're gonna find out about that, I'm sure. Anyway, let's go on to the next thing on this list. This is something that that is, I think, a very amazing and promising game, but due to a certain war going on right now, it's understandable why things are quiet. I'm gonna just go over to the website and we can look at it there. So my third entry on this list is about Ambient White. They are, I would say one of the more intricate projects because they're so different from things that we've gotten to see in the fandom. I guess that's why their creators call it literally a little bit different. And this one has a few interesting social media things. Namely, it has this cool little trailer. There is demos if you can find and download them. But as it stands, we haven't heard from them in a very long time. And I think their website also seems to be down. We haven't heard anything there. And I think the reason is simple. There is, I think they're based in Ukraine, and for those of you who watch the news, you know something bad is happening over there right now. So it's very understandable why we haven't heard much from those guys, and why it's difficult to develop in the situation that it is in currently. But I'm pretty sure once things go back to normal, it's probably going to be a while. We might hear from them some more, but I think this especially is one of those games that has so much freaking talent behind it. It's just impossible for them to, just end it. They have so much potential going for them, so much stuff they did. Look at this channel. There's so much that they've done, and I am almost certain we're gonna hear from them again. It's just a matter of time, and then things are gonna be pretty exciting again, and we're probably gonna have demos way down the line again. And definitely, I think the biggest thing that I've seen is the Steam Greenlight thing that happened here. So this means there's a chance we might see them on Steam, and then we can go ahead and get the game there and support those ponies, because I'm pretty sure they've earned it. Anyway, let's go over to, I think this is going to be sort of a combo of almost 1/2 games, because they're both in the same category to me, but we have seen a little bit of activity from one of them, and that is something that I wasn't even aware of until, I think, a couple of weeks ago when somebody told me. So let's move over. So next we're gonna look at Ponymon, and as well as the other game that was Ponymon Anarchy, Ponymon Dawn and Dusk, as well as Ponymon Anarchy. Things have definitely happened, and let's go over them bit by bit. So things in this project are surprisingly still happening, even though things have been quieting down. We have some interesting thing here with multiplayer apparently being in the works, but I also heard that they're starting to sort of release what they have, because they're just having issues like finding more ponies for the project as it is. And I don't know if this is going to be final or someone's going to pick it up, but we will see. If I go over to their progress, our last entry is from July 8th. From July in 2021, and let's see. Okay, I think this is the stand of it is so far. So right now, this project is stuck somewhere. They just don't know where it is, but this is where it was like for a few years, and yeah, this is 9 years in the making, and so far, not much of anything happened. But going over Ponymon Anarchy, I think this was almost a little bit even more interesting development for me, because we've played the first one on this very channel, but I didn't even know that they eventually decided to make a second one, and this is what we have. This is the second one. Even though it says help for hire, be careful about that. I'm gonna go over into that in a little bit. Because if you go to their DeviantArt, there actually is a download link. However, down there it says that here that they basically declared the game dead in 2014. So as it stands, this is probably where this game stops. We're not going to see anything more. I have not played this demo. I will be taking a look at this in a future video. But as it stands, both of the Pokemon / Pony crossovers, we're not hearing much of anything, and it is unlikely that we're going to see progress, dare I say, which is sad, because I think the concept is pretty cool. But you remember, there's one other Pony / Pokemon crossover that we're going to hear something about towards the end of the year, beginning of next year, and that's the one we should be hyped for. That's Battle Gem Ponies. This is already something we all know that's got to be a full playthrough on this channel. We know that. You don't need to be scientists and psychic to find out that one. But Ponymon Dawn and Anarchy, I think those are pretty silent horses, if that makes any sense. Anyhow, let's move over to another game which has gotten the silent treatment. We don't know if they're still doing things, if they're not doing things, but let's take a look what they have done. Next, we're rolling into Horse Game, and this is one of those that I think has also been around for like 9 or 10 years, but has gone through so many transformations and changes. And I think the last change is a bunch of years ago, but we're gonna see and look at what we have so far. Let's go over to, yes, this is, I think, their most recent pictures, and I think this was released in, let me see, I also have the Equestria Daily announcement open. This was from 2020, so over 3 years ago at this point in time, where they introduced the new map and the new combat. Let's see. Oh, that was this. Yeah, I remember. I think we also did play this on the channel, which was some pretty interesting thing because it had a bunch of, oh geez, that's some weird quality. But we got to see this model still, because I think that's been one of the few things that we've gotten to see over the years, and I think the only constant. But yeah, I think currently, as it stands, like you see it here, this is 2020. I think the last changes or announcement from the developers themselves on X, we're not supposed to call it Twitter anymore, but on X is a long time ago, and I think the last thing we see is there's this drawing of a pony from 2022, so this may very well mean that they might still be working in the dark. We haven't heard about them since, but at least there's activity, you know. It's always a good sign when there's at least some sort of activity from the developers and you hear about them. And that usually suggests things are happening. But either way, this is definitely one of those games that has been around for ages and has massively gone under the radar. And as you saw, you can download it and even download some of the previous versions if you're feeling giddy. And I think all of those are pretty curious. But it's an interesting thing. I made a video about it where I like showcased some of the different versions that they had, which is a nice little trip down memory lane, everybody. But anyhow, let's go over to one that, you know, it's almost sad that it's gone. I think this is probably the one most ponies know that it's just not there anymore. And that would be... So, that is my little investigations, a game that we indeed have also played on this channel. And in 2019, it was announced that the project was cancelled. I think most people are aware of that, but then we were given a thing where they told us there is a case creator, or where they've uploaded this the state of the game onto GitHub, and you can get it there. But yeah, the thing has basically been canceled. I think they had issues finding ponies for voices, and other stuff happened. It sounded real difficult from what I read, every pony. They have a website and everything where you can read into that. I will definitely be sparing you the details, but it's interesting what kind of comments, because ponies are trying to compile it, trying to figure out how this all works. But, you know, this is... How dare I say it? This is still in a difficult state to work with, but ponies are trying, and I think ponies would definitely give it some love. It's just sad that a game that was this cheerful and cool is basically gone in a way. Oh, look, there's source code, but as it stands, you can still download the first game. You can get that. It also has some... Ooh, the soundtrack. I also thought the sound case was pretty cool as well. But, yeah, as it stands right now, the only way to get more out of this game is if you manage to compile what you have on GitHub, and then some pony would probably have to go and make a case or finish the one that they started. I do not know the state of how far they have managed to develop, where they've been standing, but as it stands, someone would have to go in there and make their hose dirty, is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, this is also one of those where it's surprising with how much this project has done. You know, you had professional voice actors and everything. They were looking for they were recruiting ponies all the time, so they really had the elbow grease going, is what I'm trying to say. But at the end of the day, project is done, is canceled, and we'll see if someone's gonna pick up the case. Quite literally, but seriously, they have some banging music, every pony. So let's see, where am I at on this list? I think I'm almost done. I have 3 more that we're gonna take a look at today. And yeah, this is one of those where I didn't even know it existed, but it's an interesting avenue because we have played something similar, actually. No, wait, it's actually 2. Jeez, I cannot count on my list. It's 2 more. This one, I wrote down 2 different entries because this is a game that has multiple entries slash versions, and I didn't really get it. So we have My Little Pony Ace Attorney, Schoolyard Trials, and Trials in Equestria. These are, of course, based off of the Ace Attorney series. We have played a game like this on the channel. And curiously enough, there's a lot of assets here. There's a lot of things that they have described, main characters. They really went into detail on their page. You can see a bunch of pictures. Yeah, look at this. Oh, Twilight. Yeah, you can see things are happening. This is one of those that has just gone silent, and if you follow onto their game jolt, you run into this. This was 2 years ago. The game wasn't canceled, but they had to like start over and doing things. But let's jump over to the most recent. Let's see. No, am I? I'm on the wrong thing. Wait a minute. What? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. My little investigations. Wait, that was. Oh, that was 4 years ago. Where am I? Yes, this is the most recent post. This was, I think, his most recent video. This is 10 years ago. Here you have even a couple of more clips that I haven't seen. Of course, I do encourage you to check some of the stuff out that I can't show because of time duration. And, you know, it would probably take hours going into everything. But just want to give ponies a good and brief overview. And here you see some of the cases, some of the writing that has been done. And down here, I think he wanted to try something with lip syncing.
Wow, Manhattan! I've always wanted to visit. And think about all the big names here.
Wait, they have voice acting? They're gonna have voice acting, or they might have voice acting, as it seemed. It just wanted to see if I could. But it's interesting to see that there is still activity happening on the game show. Like I said, if things are happening and their social medias are active, that tends to be a really, really good sign. And since, you know, 10 months ago isn't that long ago in terms of development time, maybe things are still happening. Maybe we're going to see a finished product at some point, or at least a playable demo, but we don't know. But this is definitely one of those to, you know, keep a look-see, keep tabs on. Maybe things are gonna happen. Maybe we're gonna have a demo down the line. We'll see. That's usually the first step for something that hasn't been finished or where things have been silent. Is, you know, get their name out there with a demo and just let us curious ponies have a peek at to what they're doing and spike some interest. Okay, on to the last entry on this list. And I think that would be a pretty broad spectrum of games. It's surprising how many games are in such a list and how diverse they are too. And that last entry is Pony Amnesia Love and Mysteries, also a game that we have touched on the channel. We played the demo, and I think this one is also in the unfinished state. Yeah, it has a few arcs. You can play a lot in there. You have a bunch of characters, as you see, but I don't think a lot has changed in there. There's not a lot of social medias to check either, so this is a huge black box. We don't know what's happening. It's just mysterious is all that it is. But maybe they're working on it. It's an interesting, you know, visual novel, like I said, and you basically get to interact with the ponies. It's sort of a role play thingy. You get to make decisions, make friends, and all that. And it's a pretty curious thing. But as it stands, if you go here, it is still listed as in progress. I don't know. Is that true? Has it been canceled? Not sure. But as it stands, there has not been any news from this game for a very long time. And that just leaves us to wonder. And maybe someday there'll be more, but if there's been silence this long, that's usually not the best of signs. Anyway, ponies, I hope this was an interesting insight to some of the games we have seen in this fandom. Some of them we've seen come and go. Others are probably still going to arrive at some point, and we'll see. But every pony, do go ahead and check out some of these. Some of them have playable demos, and they can be pretty interesting. And Ponymon Anarchy 2.0, even though that demo is, or that game was at least declared dead in a comment, we're probably at least going to play this on the channel at some point. Alright, ponies, but I suppose with that, I thank all you lovely ponies so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye, and remember, ponies, explore the internet, but be careful to bring your safety goggles. Also, if you want to see more videos like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel, be notified whenever there's a new video, and there's new stuff for every single day, including a pony tells you to keep tabs on these kind of games, because you never know when something new is going to happen and they suddenly drop some crazy updates. This happened on a couple of games before, and you never know when it's going to happen in with any of the ones that I listed today.